Hello, this is Mr. Collier, and today we're finding equations of perpendicular lines. So today we've got these two perpendicular lines, and we're already given the equations of the lines. Okay, so the first line is y equals 2x plus 1. Second line is y equals negative 0.5x plus 4. So let's look for a pattern here. Well, first of all, notice that one equation has a positive slope and one has a negative slope. This makes sense because the blue line is going uphill and the orange line is going downhill. So this one's positive, this one's negative, so they have opposite signs. And if we look at the numbers, this is 2 and this is 0.5. It might not look like a relationship between those, but if we rewrite this as negative half, then you can see that the slope of the orange line and the slope of the blue line are reciprocals of each other. Okay, so the slope of one line is 2 out of 1, the slope of the other line is negative 1 out of 2. Okay, so they're reciprocals, but one is negative and one is positive. So we say that they are negative reciprocals. Okay? Negative reciprocals. So the slopes are negative reciprocals. And that's going to happen with all perpendicular lines. They're going to be negative reciprocals. So let's take a look at this example. We're going to identify which lines are perpendicular. So let's identify the slopes first. In the first one we have a slope of negative 3/4. In the second one we have a slope of 4/3. Here we have a slope of 4. And this one we're going to have to solve for y first. So we're going to subtract 3x from both sides of the equation. We get 4y equals negative 3x plus 5, then divide by 4, we get negative 3/4 x plus 5/4. Okay, so the slope on that one is negative 3/4. And let's look at the last one here. Slope is negative 1/4. So let's look carefully now for perpendicular lines. This is negative 3/4, and this one here is positive 4/3. So you see, one is negative, one is positive, and the fraction part they're reciprocals. So these two are going to be perpendicular to each other. Okay, these two lines are perpendicular to each other. Now here we have. Okay, so let's take a look at this now. This one here is negative 3/4, same as the first one, so actually this one and this one are also perpendicular to each other. Okay, and if we look at this slope here is 4, this slope, and we could write that as 4 out of 1, so the reciprocal is 1 out of 4, and the last line has a slope of negative 1 out of 4, so that those are negative reciprocals. So those two are going to be perpendicular to each other. So if I label the lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then line 1 is going to be perpendicular to line 2. Line 3 is perpendicular to line 2, and oops, that's line 4 is perpendicular to line 2, and then line 3 is perpendicular to line 5. Alright, so those are all of our perpendicular lines there. Next example, find the equation line perpendicular to y equals negative 1/4 x minus 2 passing through this point. So we've got two lines here. We've got, actually let me redraw that line with a negative slope. We've got this line with a slope of negative a quarter x, which is going to look kind of like that. So this is y equals negative a quarter x plus 2. And then we've got another mystery line that's perpendicular to that line. We don't know the equation, but we know it goes through the point 12, negative 5. So we're going to find the equation of this blue line here. Alright, so we don't know much about it. We know that it goes to this point, but we also know it's perpendicular to the purple line. So, now this slope of the purple line, let me put that in purple. Slope of the purple line is negative 1/4. So to find the negative reciprocal, alright, so to find a negative reciprocal slope is going to be, well, this is negative. Alright, so the negative of negative is positive. The opposite of this negative quarter is going to be positive. So we're going to have positive 4 out of 1. Okay, so you're going to have the opposite sign and you're going to have the reciprocal, so that just equals 4. So the equation of our blue line is y equals 4x plus b. We don't know the y-intercept yet. But as we've done many times before, we're going to take the x and y from that point and substitute it into the equation. We get negative 5 equals 4 times 12 plus b. And we're going to have negative 5 equals 48 plus b. I'm going to subtract 48 from both sides of the equation. We get b equals negative 53. And the equation of the line now, we have the y-intercept. It's going to be y equals 4x minus 53. Alright.